I told the team that we were not disciplined today as a group. We had 84 yards in penalties, which is not like us. You know, we want to keep it in that 30-ish area. They had 93, but either way, 84 yards penalties not good. And then offensively, we had one turnover. Ollie fumbled on the 1 yard line, which obviously wasn't a good deal, but we rallied back from it because they had a pick, so we were really even. We had a one on the last play of the game, but another thing I wanted to see for. Yeah, so we were average on third down. They were average on third down, about the same. We were good on fourth downs. Good on the 2-point plays, a great play by Brendan. But really what I told him is we didn't play very disciplined today. We bounced off of tackles. There were, gosh, I don't know, I'm gonna guess 200 yards of rushing when we didn't get in the gap. Got our head in the wrong gap. And then there was, I'm gonna guess another 100 yards maybe. It's probably much, another 70 yards bouncing off tackles and not tackling. So, and I told them, you know, we got a few guys that are beat up that aren't practicing very much, that are playing in games, but that's not an excuse. We have to be better than that. And I shared with them that they need to do some soul searching. You know, they need to watch the video and look and give themselves an honest opinion of how they played. And so, you know, we challenged them. I challenged them in doing that. And I told them that I don't know what time I'll get back tonight. I might go to work tonight. I don't know. If not, I'll be there in the morning. And if they want to come by and talk about it, and if there's anything they want to say about it, about themselves or the team, that I'm there. And that's how I feel about it. That we have a game next week. And unlike last week after the game, I felt different in this one. I felt like we missed opportunities. We had opportunities we didn't take advantage of. Now, obviously, I haven't watched the tape. That's just the naked eye. I'm usually pretty good at it, though. So we had missed opportunities in this game, in my opinion. And I also shared with them this. We don't get very many games in college football, which I tell you guys all the time. Baseball gets to play 40 games. Basketball plays 35 games. We don't get that many games. And so as a player, you have to cherish and take advantage of every opportunity in every game you get. And I don't think we did that in this game today, in my opinion.
Or the penalty-wise, you guys have been really disciplined all year. Was that a
forever,
surprise?
right? We've been good forever. I'm just going to have to look at them. I don't know. I'll be honest with you. You guys watch replays and stuff. I don't. They called the offensive pass interference on us, 15-yard. It looked like to me they ran into each other. I didn't think we were guilty of that. Maybe we were. And then we had another call that I wasn't real sure about. But either way, there was just a lot of lack of discipline in this game, in my opinion.
Do you think that's frustration? Do you think it's fatigue? Do you have any idea of why that's happening?
I'm frustrated. They practiced good. I don't think it's frustration. I think the last two drives is frustration, which is not good. I mean, they had him wrapped up, okay? I mean, 5 had him a chance to get him on that last one. 96 had him, and 11 just kind of bounced around. So those are things that they have to take care of. And so there was some frustration there, but there wasn't all week. And we were in a good situation, right? We had 20-24, and we kicked off, and they had it on the 25 or something like that. We're in great shape. And then wheels kind of came off. Maybe a little bit of fatigue, but I'm not going for that. They got to fight through that.
Mike, you had them backed up a couple times inside their own 5, and a couple times they went down and scored.
Got out of our gaps. Got out of our gaps. And that's the discipline I was talking about. I mean, the discipline's not always the penalties, okay? This is unusual for us, 84 yards in penalties, but not being in our gap, getting a delay of game down there while we're trying to score. I mean, those are things that we don't do, I mean, in over a period of time. So I also shared with them, there'll be a real soul search for them to watch the tape and be honest with themselves, because that's hard to do. like as humans, whenever we know we're guilty of something, we always try to push it off on somebody else. And they need to watch the tape, just like I am gonna do the same thing. And it's hard, but that's what's gotta happen now with this loss, different than the last one.
I know you haven't got a chance to watch the tape and you're on the field, but you talked about how the defense at times has been out of gap, and that's led to some big runs in other games. Did it feel like a bigger problem today, from what you could tell?
It's been an issue. So, you guys watching the football, you understand, everybody needs to be in their gap. And then if you're all in your gap, somebody's got to get them down. And then great players run through one tackle, and that's where you get big gains, right? I mean, it's not a complicated system. So, today, in my opinion, we were out of our gap more than we should have been. Now, I haven't seen the tape. I've seen some of it, but haven't seen it all. Now, it's going to happen some in football, okay? It's going to happen 3 or 4 times in a game, if the team plays really good, it's still going to happen some, and then it might happen 5, 6, 7 times, but we were out of our gap way too many times, in my opinion, and they made us pay for it today. And that's why it glared so much, because we got out of our gap and then we missed a tackle. You know what I'm saying? How many times that happened? 3 times? Where we got out of a gap, well, you guys wouldn't know, but we got out of a gap and then we missed a tackle at 6 yards, ended up being a 40-yard play, 50-yard play. Whatever the quarterback ran for at the end, what was it, 50, 45, 50 yards? I mean, we had him for a 2-yard gain. So that's the glaring thing that happened. That's just the way it is. I mean, I'm just calling it like it is. And then offensively, I didn't think we picked up stunts and pass protected very good today in the second half. Which, that hasn't been an issue for us at all, right? We've been good with that. So that discipline needs to improve and get better.
So would you say you're just regressing overall as a team, or do you see improvements anywhere, or is it just kind of,
We weren't very disciplined today.
and what happened to the late game there?
Quarterback's got to see the ball. I mean, he's got to see it and operate. And, that's another thing you don't see us do much, right? We get how many delay of games in a season? Like maybe 1 or 2 the whole year. So that was another part of the discipline that I'm talking about.
With everything we've talked about defensively, did you consider an onside kick when you guys made it a 3-point game and 5?
We were like 5 minutes, 11 3 timeouts, right? So 4:48, something like that. We're fine. The percentages of an onside kick versus 4 something left in the clock and you still have 3 timeouts, stop them, use your timeouts, you get the ball back with more than 4 minutes left. We're fine. And we can move quick. We're built for that. So we didn't stop them. We didn't get a stop.
Did you feel like it was just a consistency issue with the offense? Because you had some times where it seemed to operate really smoothly.
Yeah, so we were awful at stopping the run, okay? And then we were at 2.5 yards to carry on the rush. In most games, if that happens, it's going to be tough to win. Your turnovers, what could be a special teams error or errors, and yards per carry in the rush, in most cases, will determine a game if you have 2 teams that are evenly matched, which I felt like this was an evenly matched game, in my opinion. And so we were awful in yards per attempt in the run. They were excellent yards attempt for the run. I mean, we were awful in penalties. I mean, they had more than us, but that's not good for us. But what I said earlier, I don't want to repeat myself and waste y'all's time, but what I said earlier is really where it's at. I'm going to be pretty accurate with that without watching the tape. Got to get in our gap, square a guy up, and then we got to get a guy down. We had to be better in the twists, pass protection. We weren't very good, and we got to rush the ball better.
Why did it take so long for Stripling to come in the game?
He didn't practice much this week.
With the run gaps being such an issue all season, is that something that you're seeing in practice and it's just not
Say it
translating?
again. The what?
The run gaps, is that just something that you see in practice and it's not translating to games, or is it just a recurring issue all the
They
time?
should be better. No doubt about it. We should be better at that. we had guys in position like, do they have replay cameras where y'all sit? So y'all can see it, right? We had guys in position. They have to be better at that. That's what I told them.
What do you think of Alan Bowman today?
I thought overall, he played pretty good. You know, the last drive, we're in desperation. I thought he competed. I thought he set in the pocket better, made some throws, handled the offense. I wish he would have been better on the delay of game. So, just offhand, I mean, 28 to 42, 359 and touchdown. Thought he played pretty good.
With you guys' run game, you obviously had a little bit more success at BYU, had a running quarterback there, that probably helped. But what was some of the struggles you guys were running into?
The ends crashing down. It's real simple. We talked about it. It's the same.
Is there anything at this point that you guys can do to get that rolling?
It's a numbers game. Doesn't change. We have 6 blocking. They have the 7th guy that fits in, and he either has to stay back and protect or he doesn't.
I know you mentioned the delay of game on that one drive in the red zone down near the goal line, but there was that one in the first half where you guys got backed up pretty considerably after just not being able to convert those drives into touchdowns. Kind of seemed like
We got backed up because of what?
you guys had a couple penalties.
Yeah.
Bowman with the intentional grounding.
Well, I mean, he had intentional grounding, and then we had special teams penalties, backed us up to the 9-yard line. And then we had a couple bad, you know, whether it's bad play calls or bad, poor execution, and then another penalty backed us up. Then we had 2 big plays got called back, right? So we just had too many mistakes. We're not in a position to have a lot of mistakes and then overcome them.
Thanks, Coach.
Good?